but I think since we as a council have already said our recommendation is over the cap, based on what the budget committee had done, then it seems prudent to me to go ask the question, how much can we go over by? Because that will give us some feeling, and that'll give the moderator who's running the financial town meeting some basis perhaps to see where we're going.
Mr. President, has my motion failed for lack of a second?
No.
And you seconded it?
What was your motion?
The motion is to proceed with this letter of inquiry.
And it was seconded. So we're on the discussion.
Mr. President.
This is an
Wait, Jay,
is there a letter of inquiry? No, do I have something?
Wait, Jay, you'll get a turn. Somebody asked for it before.
I think the $64,000 question, that we're requesting a letter of inquiry or whatever it may be, but I think the town people have a right to know what that dollar amount might be. I mean, to go to the state and say, can we go over the cap and by how much? Well, obviously, we have to have an idea of what that is. And I think that, to me, is the sticking point, that if we're going to request even an inquiry, that we all know roughly what that dollar amount is going to be.
That dollar amount is going to be determined after the financial town meeting, and we will proceed then to do whatever is required to adjust the figure that we originally submitted.
From the Department of Revenue.
Because, I mean, we have a number now that we're, as a request on the municipal side, okay, that is above the budget committee budget. Okay. We also have a school budget that is also above a request that is above what is in the docket. And to me, that's the numbers that we are dealing with. So I'm just going to pick the numbers to make it easy. If it's $150,000 on the municipal side and $400,000 on the school side, those two numbers combined should be the number that we're discussing going over the cap. Yeah. Rather than saying we're going to go and say, all right, how much do we want to go over? And what scares me more, if you go in that type of inquiry, the state is going to look at it as the town's ability to pay. And that's where we get in trouble.
Thank you, Don. Jeff Karen, Chairman of the Budget Committee. A few different points. First of all, I did do a calculation just subtracting from the docket the revenues last year minus the revenues this year on just the municipal, and it's $1 million, okay, within 5% of that number, I believe. So the answer you're going to get for the municipal amount is about $1 million, a simple subtraction. The other information that was disclosed on Friday from the school department was that there's a whole bunch of aid out there that nobody ever knew about, which we now know about. And the decrease in that aid is approximately, I think it was $1 million this year as the stimulus dries up. So if that's considered as well, the amount will be $2 million, which we could exceed the cap by. I do have some specific answer to your question. I wanted to say a few comments about the motion and the second that's on the floor. First of all, I've been thinking about this a lot, like everyone has, and I really think it undermines the budget committee. The budget committee under the charter has proposes a budget, and that's the budget that goes to the floor of the meeting. In the charter, the specific language is request. The school and the council request, give this budget committee budget requests. The budget committee proposes recommendations. We're now taking those requests and elevating them to a new level, which is really not provided for in the charter, and we're potentially running to Providence to use those numbers as information. Mr. Lambert mentioned the checklist, 0 goes in there. And I think that's wrong. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that because there's no, I'm going to call it probable cause for my lack of not being an attorney, but there's really no probable cause here because the budget committee is under the cap to proceed to Providence. So I'll argue and contemplate that there could be a charter violation if this if the town council proceeds down this road. Specifically because the official budget is the budget committee budget and there is no grounds by which to go to Providence. The third thing I'd like to say is that I stood here a week ago and I was told by the town council president that there would be a meeting, okay, between the town administrator, the chairman of the budget committee, and the treasurer. And that meeting, the output of that meeting would be a determination of whether or not we even have the conditions to go seek this waiver. That was what was said by the town council president last week at the end of the meeting when I stood up. The motion and the second on the floor do not pay regard to that at all. I was not in the meeting since the last council meeting with Mr. Gonzalo and with the treasurer about this, and that's what I was told would happen. So now we have a motion and a second on the floor, and what I was told in public last time did not happen. So I want that to be on the record, and I'm happy to participate in such a meeting, okay? I'm happy to participate, and if we do have that meeting, we need to have minutes for the meeting, we need to record any votes at the meeting, and we need to go about it the right way. That is my comment, and I'm rather surprised, actually, that this motion and second have happened in lieu of the fact of what I was told a week ago standing here.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes.
If we go to the financial meeting as we currently stand, and they decide to increase the budget, what do we do then? What do we do if the financial town meeting increases the budget committee's budget? What do we do then?
Yeah, if they increase it less than $27,000, increase it more than $27,000, I would certainly hope that if there are no permissions sought from the state and there's no information sought there, I would certainly hope that and there's no 4/5 votes that have been taken, I would certainly hope that the moderator, who's being guided specifically by the solicitor, would rule it out of order. That's what I would hope. Because there is no grounds to go to the state right now. The budget committee budget is the official budget.
And you're denying the people of this town to make the decisions about how they're going to spend their tax money and how much they need.
I'm just trying to comply with the state law as it reads, and the state law as it reads requires a 4/5 vote. Mr. Costa, the alternative is that we go to the meeting, you break the cap, and then you take a 4/5 vote afterwards, and the 4/5 vote fails. Now what do you do? Okay?
You know what this
I'm
says to
asking you
me?
these questions.
You know what this says to, well,
Chris Carter, 52 Harris Drive, Tiverton. Just want to beg a little bit of your indulgence tonight. I know it's a very difficult, trying question to deal with, but basically, from what I'm understanding, you're seeking guidance. And there's nothing wrong with this council, who has the fiduciary responsibility of this entire town to seek guidance. I've been, as many of you have, at many town financial meetings over the years. I've seen the scale go from one side to the other. It doesn't really matter. Some people may come in and decide to take the budget committee's recommendation, which is only a recommendation. That's all they're charged with, is simply a recommendation. It holds no force of weight whatsoever other than that. I've seen it cut, and I've also seen it increased. To go directly to Don's point, I don't know what's going to happen on May 8th. Somebody could ask to increase the school's budget because of some of the questionable issues of how it's presented on the docket. They want to see, I'm not advocating for that, but it may happen. That increase will get to a point that exceeds this town's ability to do something about it. And it really will put us in a very, very dire and awful position to have to fund those if we don't even know, have sought the guidance for. Nobody's saying here, from what I understand, that you're seeking the endorsement that you actually want to get the waiver. You just want to know what the number is so that the people can have an intelligent decision to make when they go to the town financial meeting. And I would applaud all of you to make that recommendation, to go forward, to find the information so that we can have appropriate guidance.
Mr. President, I move the question.
Before that gets seconded, I'd just like to say that I was told a week ago that there would be a meeting between the town administrator, the treasurer, and myself, and the meeting has not occurred. That's what I was told last week.